Hey, traders, welcome to Charts and Coffee. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well so far this morning. All right, so we're going to take a look at the markets together and kind of with a focus on what's coming up this week before we get to the charts. And if you haven't ever checked out either tradingeconomics.com or forexfactory.com, whichever one you like. I've been using Forex Factory a whole lot longer, probably 20 years now or so. And when we scroll through that list, take a look at Tuesday, December 6th. You'll see this is actually, I think, the only day this week that we do not have a scheduled high impact, high volatility, high volume, right? Hot zone scheduled. Nothing on the calendar. So that does mean, now, yes, the trade balance is there. That's already come out. So if you take a look at the reaction around 8:30, actually we sold off a little bit after that number, but we're still within the range of the overall morning as I take a look at some of my other charts here. Nonetheless, this does make today susceptible to sound bites, to random comments, because we don't have a hot zone pending today. Going into tomorrow, crude oil inventories, but again, another very quiet day. Actually, so yeah, we have 2 of these days this week. Unemployment claims on Thursday. This Friday is probably the most impactful of all the days from a data perspective because we get that PPI number, which we would categorize under the sort of inflation look of the economy. And then we have the consumer sentiment number, which I tend to sort of categorize. If we look at 3 main economic pillars, the 3 main ones that the Federal Reserve looks at, we're talking growth, inflation, and jobs. And in order of importance, I'd say inflation, number 1 by a landslide, then jobs, then growth. So consumer sentiment, retail sales, consumer sentiment, those I tend to categorize under jobs. When people have optimism about the economy, when they have optimism about money they're spending, it usually maps to the job they have. But PPI, that's going to be under that inflation category, as would PMI numbers, of course, as well. All right, gang, so that's what we've got coming up this week. Let's go ahead and jump into the questions. And good morning to our free trading room as well. All right, gang, let's get to it. Starting off with, hey there, Robert. All right, so we have, good morning. Yeah, so we see thoughts on McDonald's. Sure, we have McDonald's on tap for a long, I like it. So you're looking at some directional bias. Cool. McDonald's is one of the stronger corners of the market within the XLY. So definite relative performer there. And I like the long, but not from a trending perspective. Robert, let me show you something here. And I do want to, let's see. There we go. I'm going to show you the multi-chart for XLY. All right, so here's a multi-chart for XLY. And you'll see McDonald's third heaviest weighted stock. In terms of the trend, what I would be cautious about is Amazon and Tesla. Why? Being number 1 and number 2 in the XLY means they have a disproportionate influence over what XLY does next. If XLY heads higher, like a rising tide lifts all boats, McDonald's will benefit. However, if Amazon and Tesla head lower, again, they could take XLY lower, which in turn would take McDonald's lower. But McDonald's has a great trend. Take a look at this daily time frame. This thing's been trending since the first week of November. So fantastic. Yes, I would look for a buy. The challenge is going to be, we are looking at a series of lower highs into the pullback of this uptrend. We're going to need some help, meaning it can't just be McDonald's that's rallying. I'm going to need help from the likes of Home Depot, Nike, Lowe's, Starbucks, TJ Maxx, General Motors, or if nothing else, we're going to need a little bit of help from even Amazon or Tesla. But those two are really, really established downtrends. You know, here in the Charts and Coffee show, when asked about Tesla, and that's a popular one, right? When we take a look at Tesla, let me show you here. Tesla continues to just be a short the rip. Right there, you can see December 1, short the rip. Right here, you can see November one, I don't know. I guess the new pattern is short Tesla on the first of the month. But anyways, the bottom line is it's in a downtrend. That is going to affect McDonald's. All right. Now, do I have a number of days to expiration that I use as a baseline for planning short-term swings? I don't have short-term swings versus medium versus long. Robert, I'm usually going to give trending structure more time than I would choppy. So McDonald's would be on the longer end of my days to expiration. All right, next up, Prince asks, where would a stop loss be for a 4-candle average trade? Prince, check out the class where I walk through all of that, but I would look to near-term support for a buy, and I would look to near-term resistance for the shorts. And take a look at the pattern and the size of the pattern as well as where resistance and support would be, and we'll use that as a guidance for the stop. And again, remember, if we're playing an option, it's on a price-based stop. It's a premium-based stop. So keep that in mind. All right, Alex, just wanted to comment on another question about indicators. Sure. I combine your tops indicators, cool, with some of John's. Okay, cool, like the squeeze, to great success. Use whatever works. You know, I will tell you this, Alex, tops is the foundation for everything that I do. Tops is a layout that really wants friends to come and hang out with it on the playground of the markets. Meaning, Tops's job is, what kind of market structure do we have? How can I measure it with 3 different tools? Propulsion will give me insight into moving average crosses and give me a smart self-correcting moving average. The grab candles will give me an idea of momentum and trend. And then the wave will give me dynamic support and resistance within the context of a trend. And then I would even throw the multi-trend kind of into the tops philosophy, if not the actual top system layout, and say, hey, what is the structure and what has been the structure throughout, say, this time frame going back in time. And then, you know, you add the final piece of the top system, which is automated support and resistance. It doesn't get much better than that Darvis 2.0. So to your point, absolutely, it's going to work with everything. It's going to say, hey, bring your ready and fire over, bring your squeeze over. You know, if you're using the V-score, if you're using my slow stow, you know, bring it on over. It will work really well. Even better, it will tell you when to use which. So in an environment where I would look for a squeeze is distinctly different than an environment that I would use a slow stochastic, right? And so the difference is which structure invites a momentum breakout, squeeze, which structure invites an exhaustive fade of a ceiling or floor, say ready, aim, fire, or slow stochastic. So yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. And that's something that I try to, you know, that's the reason I put that top systems layout in the main rooms, because it's a free layout. It's been free for a very long time. And it's something that I know will help traders with other premium tools. So it does play well with others. I appreciate that. All right, next up, can I share my stochastic settings? Sure, sure. All right. So I've been using the slow stochastic for a very long time. It's my preferred overbought, oversold tool. It's built into darn near any charting platform worth a darn. And even though you'll see a custom version on my screen, don't let that throw you, because all I've done is I've removed the, oh my gosh, what is it? The percentage D? Oh, no, I'm sorry. What I've done is I've reduced the stochastics to one line versus 2. If you grab the version that I share with you all in the options room and in the futures room, you'll see I've already got it set up. So there's nothing you need to do. But please know, in the sector secrets room, I share the sector slow stow. Gang, I really should rename this. The Raghee has cataracts slow stochastic, because the color and the shift of color is easier for me to see than lines crossing. So a lot of what the Lorna bot does for me on my indicators is just to deal with the fact that I have been very nearsighted for a very long time. And now I have cataracts in both eyes. So, and I never thought at 51 I'd have cataracts, but hello, there you go. So I just do that for ease. I say all that to preempt the fact that the settings on the toss, slow stochastic, or even on a trading view, slow stochastic, are going to be the same. use a 21K 3D. It will not look like mine because the color changes, but if you want the single line, turn off the slow K, and if you have the D2, turn that off. So if you want the single line that I use, turn off the slow K, and if you have that setting, the D2, just don't show it, and you'll have one line. That's it. That's it. That's as easy as it is. I'm happy to share that. It's a free built-in tool. The main thing is make sure you use 80, 20, 21K, 3D. It works better than anything that I've ever used. Listen to me now, believe me later. And let me know how you make out with that, Mr. Walker. What do I think of STNG for a long? I'll tell you what, Joe, that candle makes me a little nervous. Maybe off 52.60, maybe 52.70. Oversold stochastic would be nice, but I can't see a real edge here. Oh, that's a 5-minute chart. Give me 1 second. There we go. Duh. All right. So I like that you found a trend, Joe. Yeah. Be nice if I look at the right time frame. And you can buy pullbacks to the wave. Now we are going back and forth between green structure and between yellow. So you're going into a little bit of a bullish neutral market from time to time. All right. So you want the pullback there, right? Yeah, you could look at 50, 80, 49.80, and then maybe 48.5. I think those levels would be fine for a pullback. Treat this as a trending market. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah. So what would I look at that one for? Yeah. STNG for a long on a pullback, Joe. Yeah. Yeah. It's not as good as if it were just steady green. Maybe favor the moderate and the conservative. Yeah. Where do I get the top system layout? You can get a copy of the layout that I share with you all for Thinkorswim in the options room, the room drive, in the futures room drive, as well as there's a souped up version in the Sector Secrets Mastery. And for those of you that are not familiar what the room drive looks like, it's this thingy. So when you log into any of those rooms, you'll see a half open looking folder. That's the room drive. And that will take you to the PDF that the Lorna bot has created to allow you all to grab a link for the shared item. And boom, you can set up that the TOPS free version that I give you all. I say free version because we have a Darvis 3.0, which is premium. We have a couple things that are premium, but there is a free version of TOPS, and it's in the room drives. All right, next up, David asks, can I look at WEAT? Sure. For, let's see, monthly, weekly, daily signals. So David, thank you for the question on the on commodities. I love trading commodities, and I'm going to start off with ZW because WEAT really is wheat futures. And when you think about what it's going to do and why, wheat futures are short. So again, I don't know what you're looking at in terms of the monthly. I don't trade monthly charts. I mean, I will say this, David, no disrespect, but a monthly chart means monthly targets, but monthly risk. So I'm not a fan of monthlies because number one, it takes a very long time for those to create a pattern or even structure. And it takes even longer for that thing to trigger. And you're talking about a range of an entire month in the candle. So while they're great talking point charts, I don't find them particularly helpful for me as a trader. Weekly is pretty cool. And if we take a look at the weekly, a little long term. So the weekly is interesting because we have a neutral market structure. We're nearing likely some support. And I've got the 200 waiting there. I'd keep an eye on that. However, on the daily, I can't be a buyer. The daily is in a downtrend. So if you ask yourself, which time frame am I going to set this up on? Of the three that I look at, and I only look at 3 time frames. So please know that it's not that, monthlies are no good or 1 hour is no good. I just don't trade them. So I don't think I should speak on behalf of their merit. However, the weekly as an oversold buy off the 200, fantastic. neutral environment, getting pretty close to the mean, and the neutral oversold would be the valid one there. Now that would then map to, if you want to buy then say the 7 call in wheat, or just get long the WEAT ETF. All right. Okay. Next up is, what does TOPS stand for? Andy, it started off as an inside joke between Craig. Some of y'all don't necessarily know Craig, but he's one of the unsung heroes here at Simpler. And Craig was looking at some of the trades I was making with the wave and the grab candles and things like that. And I was showing him the examples of the trades before we went to do the class that introduced tops to the Simpler community. And the tops came from, he goes, that is truly an obnoxious, I think he might have said pattern or profit. I think he said profit. That is a truly obnoxious profit, TOP. And that's where sort of the joke of, okay, what do we call this layout? Because I was just slaying trends with this. I'm a trend trader, and I wanted a way to identify a trend, play the pullback, yes, buy the dip, systematize buying the dip in a trend, and make that something I could just rinse and repeat across any time frame and across any market. And that's where the obnoxious profit system, I believe it was, came from. All right, next up. Can I please confirm that I include Monday through Friday day trades in my sector secrets? Yeah, Fierce, well, let me tell you when I don't day trade with the group, because it's really important, Fierce, that I look at my trades, my trade results, and I see which days of the week or calendar days that I don't have at least a 55% win rate when I go back 6 to 12 months, if not closer to 18 months. End of quarter is absolutely horrific for me. I do not trade end of quarter. So those day trading mornings, just day trading. No day trading of end of quarter. So four times a year. Non-farm payroll after 9:30 is just barely 50-50. So the morning of non-farm payroll, I do not trade. I'll sometimes trade non-farm payroll itself, but the morning, once the bell rings, I will not trade the Friday morning day trading session once a month, non-farm. And the last day that I do not trade, because my win rate does not justify my putting capital at risk, is options expiration Friday. So these are only for day trades. I will not day trade that AM window, non-farm payroll, options expiration Friday, the third Friday of the month, and end of quarter. So you can see there's very few days that I'm not day trading in the morning. So other than that, we get together in the Sector Secrets room and we day trade 5 days a week, except for those three fairly infrequent occurrences. Okay. Next up is, and yeah, you can check out what we're doing over there, Fierce, at sectorsecrets.com, and you can see what we do there in the room. Appreciate. And then I've shown you all the schedule. So for those of you that have missed the schedule, that's the schedule, gang. That's the schedule. So if you've ever wondered when you get together, this is the schedule, except for on those 3 days. All right. Okay. Next up is CCJ for a short. And yeah, gang, by the way, since I am talking about those day trades, please know we do a lot more than day trades in the room. Those are the other 4 sessions that we do. And we do look at end of day charts. We look at weekly charts. We have some really nice weekly positions in XLK, B, and P right now. So we do look at weeklies as well. So I like those 3 time frames: 5-minute, daily, and weekly. All right. So what do I think about CCJ for a short? Well, let's do this. Let's pull up. If I'm looking at CCJ, gang, I start thinking about the likes of, XME. I start thinking about SLV. Let me see what else we could do here with CCJ. Well, actually, let me show you something here. Do we have time? We just ran out of time. Let me just tell you what we typically do. What I want to do is I want to know where CCJ is hanging out. Do I love this for a short? I actually do not. Not at the current level. 403, not at the current level. So what I want to do with something like CCJ, if I'm thinking short, is pull up the group of stocks that CCJ trades with, and then take a look at the relative performance of CCJ against those other stocks in that group. So I hope that makes sense. All right, gang. Thanks as always for being a part of Charts and Coffee. And I will see my futures folks and I'll see my sector secrets folks. Today we have our morning day trading in the futures room. So I'll see you all there as well. Sector secrets, yes. And then at 3 p.m., going back to that schedule, I'll be with you all for the macro and longer term position trades, if not your portfolio management. It's another way to look at it. All right, gang, have a great one. Thanks as always. I'll see you tomorrow. Be good to each other.